Objectives of the bill, Mr. Chairman, is to create a conducive business environment for the petroleum operation, enhance exploration and exploitation of petroleum resources in Nigeria for the benefit of all Nigerians.
It is already an accepted norm that an act of the National Assembly will not be allowed to add or subtract from a constitutional provision.
What we should be worried about is a provision that is in conflict with the provisions of the Constitution.
This is what is referred to as the doctrine of covering the field.
I'm asking that we should subject that provision to the approval of Mr. President, because the minister only cannot be having this power.
There is no contradiction. At the best, we can say is surplusage, and a law that much is allowed.
Members adopted the amendments and approved clauses 1 to 6. Majority of the members voted in favor of the suspension of further consideration of the report and to resume consideration at Thursday's plenary. The House also adopted Representative Patrick Ikariale's Conference Committee report, which seeks to establish the Nigerian Electricity Management Services Agency, NIMC. Away from plenary, the Speaker, House of Representatives, Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, charged the Public Complaints Commission to work in accordance with the Act while discharging their duties. He made the call in Abuja during a courtesy visit by the Commission. Leader of the delegation said he was appealing to the National Assembly to address logistic problems in the Commission, among other issues. The visit had in attendance representatives of the Commission from the 36 states of the Federation. From the National Assembly, Ifeanyi Okafor, NTA News.
Meanwhile, state legislators-elect have been challenged to ensure that ratified international treaties are domesticated in their various states to further consolidate international cooperation and protection of citizens' rights in Nigeria. It was at the ongoing induction certificate course for the incoming State Assembly legislators holding in Abuja. National Assembly correspondent Kenneth Nanim has the details.
The members-elect were made to understand that committees are established in the state assemblies to consider critical issues of public interest and make recommendations to the General House for further legislative action.
When the House is performing, either through a motion or whatever deliberation, any legislative mandate, most cases, over 90% of such deliberations are referred to standing committees.
They were also intimated on their roles towards ensuring that international treaties are domesticated, pointing out that about 200 treaties have been ratified, with only 17 of them domesticated in Nigeria. To function adequately in their various constituencies, the state legislators-elect were advised to properly engage their aides in the areas of research, project monitoring, and information retrieval and documentation.
He talked about 200 treaties, and only 17 has been domesticated. Was that shared irresponsibility or just a problem?
We have been soliciting the National Assembly to ensure the bill of autonomy of the State House of Assembly is consented.
You know, a lot of people would not be able to assimilate at once, so we still need the workshop to be a continual process, because learning is a continuous process.
The induction has been a complete package of legislative knowledge.
The sessions were chaired by former Deputy Senate President Ibrahim Mantu and Professor Chudi Wazurike, a member of the House of Representatives. Various issues bordering on legislative activities and functions have been under discussion at the ongoing induction course. The organizers and participants alike, amongst other issues, identified autonomy of the state legislature as key to deepen Nigeria's democracy. From the International Conference Center in Abuja, Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
In another development, new members of the State Houses of Assembly have been urged to do more research on motions and resolutions to enable them take positive decisions on behalf of their constituents. The advice was given during the induction course for new legislators. National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adegunloye reports on this and the visit to the new permanent site of the organizers of the course. Take a look.
Chairman House Committee on Rules and Business Albert Sam Swoka on the topic Understanding Motions and Resolutions highlighted the importance of these legislative tools. Former Clerk to the House, Ni Ajiboye, presented a paper on floor proceedings and amendments of bills describing a typical day in both chambers of the National Assembly.
Formal entry of the presiding officer. I want to emphasize here that this is a very important aspect.
He outlined others, including messages from the governors at state level, announcements by the presiding officer, petitions on matters of urgent public importance, and personal explanation before moving on to the business of the day on the order paper. Senate Leader Victor Ndoma Egba, who chaired the session, explained exceptional circumstances around notices. He directed an early close to allow for a visit by the Houses of Assembly members-elect to the new permanent site of the National Institute for Legislative Studies.
Well, the original plan was that after the session chaired by the Senate leader, Senator Victor Ndoma Egba, that the members-elect would come and visit this new permanent site of the National Institute for Legislative Studies, but unfortunately, because of the elements, the members-elect for the state houses of assembly are not quite brave enough to stand under this weather, but they are in the buses just ahead of us there, and they've come to visit the site, and this is where Nils will be in the future doing some induction training courses for future legislators.
The permanent site in Lugbe is expected to be completed next year. In Abuja, Dennis Adigunle, NTA News.
Thank you very much indeed, Dennis. The issue of constitutional democracy vis-a-vis the doctrine of separation of powers and the rule of law at the state level was the focus of NTA Current Affairs program, Good Morning Nigeria. Guests on the program x-rayed the issues that have to do with the undue interference of state governors on the constitutional mandate of the state houses of assembly. Correspondent Joy Uzo has the report.
Guests, while making their point, alluded to the fact that the only way undue influence by the state governors and by extension the executive arm of government at that level can be checked is to give full financial autonomy to the state houses of assembly. By so doing, they would have been untied from the apron strings of undue influence. The Speaker of the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, who is also Chairman Conference of Speakers, Mr. Samuel Ikon, and the Senator-elect Oyo North Senatorial District, Buhari Abdul Fattah, were some guests on the program.
The House of Assembly has at various times, called the executive to question. And nobody looks at that. You only look at when you feel that they've done what the executive wanted. One of those times that they've had the courage to say, come and explain this and this and this. All of these scenarios will be contained if we just have one solution, and that is the financial autonomy of state houses of assembly.
The situation at hand called for what is called reorientation and educating the governors, because they have this psychological problem that House of Assembly is an extension of a commissioner or a parastatal. In most cases, it depends when you have a very, very good speaker. Let me give you an example. In 1999, Mamora, when he was heading Lagos, as tough as Tinubu was, they were able to face and handle the parliament brilliantly.
The issue of godfatherism was also identified as one of the tickers that breeds the usurpation of the constitutional mandate of the state houses of assembly.
The fact that you've been elected, the fact that you received your certificate of return, the fact that you've been trained by way of induction seminar, the fact that you've been documented, does not make you a sitting member of any House of Assembly, except the governor proclaims the House into being. So there is a foundational problem. So from the beginning, there is no separation.
With the induction program put in place for State House of Assembly members-elect, it is viewed that their horizon would have been broadened before their inauguration. In Abuja, Joy Uzo, NTA News.
You're watching NTA News Extra. Still to come, Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs screens nominees for the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria. And Head of Service explains redeployment of permanent secretary in the Aviation Ministry. Do stay with us for the details in just a moment.
Okay. Here is the option. I want more. I want more. More! How hard can it be to get more? Give me more! What's wrong with these guys? Simple thing, more. Just give it to me.
Don't settle for less when you can get more out of life. Now get 200% more whenever you recharge on Glow. That's right, 200% guaranteed bonus on recharge. To call or text any network, anytime. Still want more? How about 15 megabytes free data on recharge? 1 minute free for 3 minutes of calling. Plus additional free airtime of 200 naira to call family and friends.
That's more.
The grass is definitely 200% greener with Glow. Dial star 200 hash to get your 200% bonus now.
Glow Unlimited.
It's not a question of place.
It's not a question of temperature.
It's not a question of dedication. In fact, it's not a question at all.
Energy has to be better. It's our responsibility.
And our commitment to make it better.
For all of us.
Total, committed to better energy.
Discover the liquid freshness of Center Fresh chewing gum that you feel. And others too. Center Fresh. Trust the freshness.
The Honorable Minister of Education, Malam Ibrahim Shekarau, and the Honorable Minister of State for Education, Professor Mrs. Viola Onwuliri, invite the Executive Secretaries, Registrars, Directors General, Executive Directors, International Development Partners, Civil Society Organizations, Vice Chancellors, Rectors, Provosts, Principals, and other stakeholders in the education sector to the official presentation of the Ministry's 2014 Annual Report and the final report of the key achievements of the 4-year strategic plan for the development of the education sector, 2011 to 2015. The event is scheduled to hold as follows. Date, Friday, May 15, 2015. Venue, Idris Abdulkadri Auditorium, National Universities Commission, Agu Ironsi Street, Maitama, Abuja. Time, 9 a.m. Dr. Mark John Mwabela, Permanent Secretary, Announcer.
A hectic lifestyle or overeating can cause a burning pain in your chest. That's heartburn. Take Gaviscon. One dose relieves in 3 minutes to soothe the pain of heartburn. It goes straight to the source to work for hours, providing long-lasting relief.
That's why I recommend Gaviscon.
I recommend Gaviscon. Gaviscon, fast relief you can actually feel.
If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor.
Want your bathroom to dazzle? Give your toilet the Hypo treatment to brighten and also kill germs, so your bathroom stays disinfected and squeaky clean.
Hypo.
There is a reason Africa is called the new frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. Once revered for our resources, today's wealth lies in our people. People who build the cities that shape the future. People who know an idea in one place means business in another. A generation for whom technology means there are no borders, no boundaries. We are the new lions in a brave new world. Kings of the urban jungle. And there's a bank that puts the world in our pocket and the future in our hands. UBA, Africa's global bank.
Know that you are exposed to up to 100 illness-causing germs every day.
I encourage my kids to learn new things, and if they get hurt, I rely on my Dettol to fight germs. It's like my own first aid kit.
My family needs protection from germs. My Dettol disinfects surfaces and clothes, keeping them clean and safe from germs.
The National Council of Women's Societies invites all Nigerian women to send forth an inauguration of Her Excellency, Dame Dr. Patience Vaka Jonathan, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as the Chairman, Board of Trustees of the National Council for Women's Societies. Let us come out en masse to celebrate the Mother of the Nation for being an unrepentant women's advocate, as she is inaugurated as the BOT Chairman of the NCWS. Dates: Thursday, May 14th, 2015. Venue: National Center for Women Development, Abuja. Time: 9 a.m. Come, let us honor this committed promoter of women empowerment in Nigeria. This event is under the auspices of the National Council of Women's Societies.
Thank you for being there. The nominee for Chairman National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, Abdullahi Mukhtar Muhammad, says Nigeria's interest and integrity will be protected at the international arena if appointed. He said this while being screened by the Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs alongside other nominees for the commission. National Assembly correspondent Ifeanyi Ezumba reports on the screening.
Other nominees are Yusuf Adebayo Ibrahim, Abdullahi Modibo Saleh, Ibrahim Ezani, Adeyemi Ademola, and others were screened over 2 days. The Commission's nominee chairman promised that they will address the major challenge of manpower development.
We also focus on the area of pilgrims' education and orientation. I will make sure that pilgrims get value for their money in terms of service delivery. With the airlines, with the accommodation providers.
The Chairman Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, who was impressed by their submission, reminded them that they have been called for an important national assignment.
The candidates appear to know the issues and the responsibilities of the Hajj Commission. So we are hoping that they are going to bring improvements.
The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria was established in 2006 with the mandate of licensing bodies engaged in organizing, coordinating movement, and providing accommodation and transport, among others, to persons from Nigeria to Saudi Arabia to perform the Hajj or Umrah. From the National Assembly, Ifeanyi Ezumba, NTA News.
Information Minister Senator Patricia Akwashiki has continued visiting parastatals under her ministry. Correspondent Anthony Forson reports that apart from Abuja, the minister was also in Jos, where she was guest of honor at the matriculation ceremony of the National Film Institute. The report.
This is Radio House, the headquarters of the Federal Ministry of Information, and I am on the 8th floor, where the minister's office is located. To my right, Wing A, and Voice of Nigeria, located on the 7th floor of Radio House. This is where the minister began her visit.
Thank you. It's our way of saying thank you, to see what you are doing, how you are doing it, to understand the constraints you have, and see if we can help.
After the interaction between the management and the minister, the Director General of Voice of Nigeria took her on a facility tour. At the Radio House, she inspected the studios and production sections. While at Lugbe, the minister was taken aback on the state of the facilities, querying why will such huge investment not be put to optimal use. But the management were quick to point at lack of funds as responsible for the breakdown of equipment that the federal government has invested in. From there, the minister headed for Jos. At the National Film Institute, Senator Akwashiki inspected an exhibition that showcased the transition film production has gone through. During the matriculation ceremony, the need to encourage education that will make graduates self-employed was the central message by all those who spoke at the ceremony.
You know, this is an opportunity where you do not need somebody to offer you a job. You come out of this, you are already an employer of labor. You can be on your own, which is what the president has been preaching to youth. You know, all the schemes he has on ground is to empower youth.
Especially when supported by some funds to start off some businesses on their own. That's what we mean.
It's the premier film institute in the nation. African countries are looking up to this institute.
While in Jos, she inspected the over 100 hectares of land meant for the corporation's permanent site. There, she was told that contract for the construction of a multi-million naira hostel for the National Film Institute was not utilized, hence the need to redesign the project. In her interaction with management, she appealed to them to remain steadfast, as government, she said, is always committed to ensuring the protection of its citizens. Anthony Forson, NTA News.
And ahead of the June 17, 2015 digital switchover from analog to digital broadcasting, the National Broadcasting Commission says major steps are being taken to actualize the set objectives. This was at a press conference organized by the Commission in Abuja. Correspondent Adebola Brookslyn Sunday reports.
It took the UK 14 years, but they achieved it. So I believe it's not going to take us 14 years.
One of the major strategies the Commission is adopting is the distribution of 1 million set-top boxes in just Plateau State based on the available digital infrastructure.
Work out the pricing, but it will be subsidized to the extent that consumers will not have to pay an exorbitant amount of money to.
Emeka Mba says the Commission has done a lot in a short period of time, but funding is one of its major challenges.
And so we've made a proposal to sell our spectrum. The spectrum is worth about $1.something billion. And so, you know, we believe that, and we're not looking for $1 billion, we're looking for somewhere in the region of about $300-something million. So there's, you know, a lot of revenue that will still come back to government.
He explained that the federal government has also approved 18 community radio stations to further strengthen national cohesion in the country. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday, NTA News.
The head of service of the Federation, Danladi Kifasi, has emphasized that discipline in the service is of utmost importance and civil servants, no matter how highly placed, must adhere strictly to the rules and regulations of the service. Danladi Kifasi said this in a statement in reaction to the redeployment of the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Aviation, Alhaji Muhammad Abbas, to the Economic Affairs Office in the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. He noted that the transfer was due to the fact that Alhaji Abbas proceeded on leave without due authorization. The head of service of the Federation said all top public servants are aware of the need to be on their seats in the course of the transition program and not expected that a permanent secretary who oversees such a strategic sector in the public service would choose to be on leave at this sensitive period. With the reality of revenue challenges confronting Nigeria as a mono-resource economy, professional miners and geoscientists have made a case for a paradigm shift from oil and gas to the solid mineral sector. President of the Nigerian Mining and Geosciences, Professor Olugbenga Okunlola, said this while briefing journalists in Abuja. Taiwo Odugbeso has the details.
The solid mineral sector in Nigeria has long been treated as the poor relation of the oil and gas sector. Compared to the level of investment and development in the oil and gas extraction, which has grown exponentially since Nigeria joined the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, in 1971, mining activities suffered stagnation, leading to a decline. It is against this development that the Nigerian Mining and Geosciences Society briefed journalists on the need for the incoming government in Nigeria to consciously in their planning regard the oil and gas sector as the alternate rather than the mainline cash cow of the nation.
There is nothing you need in this country in terms of solid minerals endowment that you don't have. That is why I'm emphasizing oil and gas is important. That's what everybody is looking at now, but we are neglecting something that is far, far better, something that is far more resourceful than the oil and gas sector. So the country should concentrate on this.
The society emphasized its readiness to assist the new government in actualizing its vision of developing the solid mineral sector. Mineral resources are the foundation upon which an industrialized economy is built, and industrialization is essential if the country is to reduce overdependence on the oil industry, an industry which, despite the revenue it generates, provides employment for just 6% of the Nigerian labor force. The society says it is also ready to cooperate and assist government in achieving all laudable endeavors to promote and develop the enormous mineral endowments in Nigeria. Taiwo Odugbeson, NTA News.
The Minister of State Health, Fidelis Nwankwo, has announced cases of lead poisoning in some villages of Rafi local government area of Niger State. The minister says 65 cases and 28 deaths have occurred in children below the age of 5, as the lead poisoning is currently spreading to neighboring localities in the state and Kaduna State. Health correspondent Rabi Abdallah tells us more.
According to the minister, the Federal Ministry of Health and that of Mines and Steel Development, upon the receipt of the report from the Niger State Ministry of Health on the 7th of this month, swung into action by raising a technical team which set out on a 5-day verification mission to Niger State. Apart from the cases and deaths that occurred in children, the rapid assessment by the team as at the 12th of this month also revealed a serious impact on livestock.
Actions taken so far include conducting health education in the communities visited and sensitizing them on the dangers of their economic activities involving mining, crushing and processing of ore. Commence non-specific palliative treatment of the sick children in Kagara Hospital.
The outbreak is said to be associated with new mining sites found to contain more leaded ores, usually taken home by the villagers for crushing and processing.
This press briefing is not to create panic, but to sensitize the communities affected and others on the need to observe the recommendations of the experts. We call on miners to abide by the extant mining regulations and emerging guidelines that will be released from time to time by the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development.
Stressing that lead poisoning is not contagious if safer and healthier mining practices are imbibed. The federal government, the minister says, shall lead the response and support the affected state governments in finding final solution to the emergency situation. In Abuja, Rabi Abdallah, NTA News.
As the picketing of the National Identity Management Commission by the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria enters day 2 over an alleged plan to sack over 1,000 workers, the management of the commission, while shedding light on the matter, said only staff involved in falsification of service record would be affected. Correspondent Emmanuel Ayimiro, monitoring the event, has the details.
The union, which locked up the Abuja office of the National Identity Management Commission in protest against what it described as unfair labor practices, called on the government to prevail over the action of the management of the Identity Commission.
The sack letters have to be withdrawn without conditions. And if at all he has dispatched any to any of our affected members, it should also be retrieved without condition. Otherwise, this action will continue.
In reaction to the allegations by the union, the Director General of the National Identity Management Commission in the media briefing said the allegations are misrepresentation of facts, as only 406 staff with cases of falsification of records are liable to further actions.
As recent as 2 weeks ago, we got a batch of those who have been cleared, some of whom were not cleared, and we also promptly told them, sorry, explain this certificate because the university said they didn't issue it to you. The union said 1,000 people are to be sacked. Please, that is the union. My own is 406.
Other issues bordering on unfair labor practices were also denied by the management. Staff of the National Identity Management Commission are being prevented from entering the office in some part of the country over alleged planned mass sack of workers. Emmanuel Ayemiro, NTA News.
We take you to Lagos now, where 4 out of a gang of armed robbers who stormed a commercial bank in Lekki, carting away unspecified sum of money, have been paraded by the police in Lagos. The State Commissioner of Police, Kayode Aderonti, says a manhunt for other members of the gang is being vigorously pursued. Lynn Leneke tells us more.
The Commissioner of Police told newsmen that armed robbers attacked the bank on the 12th of March along the Admiralty Way in Lekki, dispossessing staff of the bank of valuables while ransacking the vault and the automated teller machine. The Commissioner of Police disclosed that the robbers were arrested at Delta, Lagos, Ondo and Ogun states.
All arrested suspects have confessed to the bank robbery and will be throwing more light about the operation.
In another development, Emmanuel Otu, a 19-year mechanical engineering student of Delta State Polytechnic, Ozoro, was paraded for alleged internet fraud.
He created a Facebook page in the name of Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu and has been defrauding unsuspecting but obviously gullible persons.
Some of the suspects narrated the method used in the operations.
We tell them to pay money. When they pay the money, they will block them on Facebook. We get there, so there is no manager. So the little money we see, there was just 15 million naira.
The Commissioner of Police, Kayode Aderonti, stated that Lagos State is safe for businesses and leisure to thrive, while assuring residents that any crime committed in the state will be detected and offenders punished. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
And from Benin comes a report that 39 suspects have been arrested in connection with the recent cult activities in Edo State. The State Commissioner of Police, Samuel Adebui, announced this while addressing newsmen in Benin City. Toju Slater reports that 16 of the suspects were paraded. The report.
The suspects, according to police, are members of different cult groups who were involved in murder, cultism and other crimes. They are arrested in different parts of the state in connection with the murder of 9 people recorded so far.
Are you a cultist? Yes, I'll be here, man. I'm not free to tell you that. Madam. They say also, just 2 years.
Police came to our house and they bust us. They took us to the police station. They recovered ammunition and a blue cap. We were 2 in the room.
No, I'm not because we are the armed robber.
Mr. Adegbuyi appreciated the continuous collaboration and support of Edo people and assured that the command would put in more efforts to rid the state of crime.
We do everything within our power to ensure that there is no hidden place for any cultist group, and we fish them out wherever they might be hiding. Advice to members of the public is to civic enough to share information with the police.
Items recovered were 6 cut-to-size single-barrel guns, cartridges, mobile phones, some materials believed to be cult emblems, a live eagle. In Benin, Toju Slater, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Inspector General of Police, Solomon Arase, has dispatched a special crack team to Edo State to stem the spate of cultism, kidnapping, robberies and other related crimes in the state. A statement signed by the Acting Commissioner of Police, Force Public Relations Office says the team is headed by a Deputy Commissioner of Police, Federal Special Anti-Robbery Squad. The statement adds that the IGP urges the public to remain steadfast in collaborating with the police and to report any suspicious person to the nearest police station for prompt action. If you're just joining us, you're watching NTA News Extra. Reviving the textile industry, key players in the sector suggest the way forward. Details shortly. Join us again.
You don't go see this man again, Abi?
Oh, Sylvanus, you don't come with this your talk again, no.
No, Sylvanus, me, oh. Who be this man who wants surgery for my hand, eh?
Shebi, I don't tell you, say, now the doctor, where
any small thing, you don't run go hospital. Headache, hospital. Hospital. Even ordinary kata, hospital.
So if I sick, I don't go hospital again, Abi?
No be a go house, oh. When not this hospital to waka start?
So if the national free doctor now, you don't go take him?
We not go take better.
This Glow Health cover, everything are free. Hospital are free. Doctor are free.
Doctor.
With over 8,000 hospitals waiting for this our country, oh.
Hey, I dey carry last
I tell you now.
Glow Health Cover gives you access to free consultation, free medicine at over 8,000 healthcare centers nationwide from just 1,000 Naira monthly. Dial *616# to register. Go ahead, Glow Unlimited.
I need a great deal, the best price I can get. That's why I shop on Jumia.
Quality you can trust. You can count on us.
Nationwide delivery.
We make shopping easier. National delivery. When you shop on Jumia, when the rain or shine.
Get authentic Apple products with 1-year warranty from authorized reseller Jumia.com.ng.
Jumia, the online shop you can trust.
Let's welcome Miss Harrison. She's a Colgate expert.
It looks like a friend is in pain.
Sam has a toothache.
It's because he has a hole in his tooth. Dentists call it a cavity. That's why I recommend brushing twice a day with new Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection plus sugar acid neutralizer. Imagine this is your tooth and these are sugar acids that cause cavities. Colgate's unique formula helps eliminate sugar acids, protecting you from holes.
So how can we help prevent Sam's cavities? Colgate with sugar acid neutralizer to fight the #1 cause of cavities.
Brush with Colgate twice a day, every day.
Everybody hurts. Everybody walks along the lonely road sometimes. Let me take your hand. 'Cause to me your happiness is just as good as mine. And you will be
Leadway Assurance, ensuring happiness since 1970.
All over Nigeria, Ariel claims to give us the best stain removal in one wash. So we'll collect tough stains, red sand, fruit juice, chocolate ice cream, to see which gives the best stain removal in one wash. We'll wash one half with Ariel and the other with the other premium detergent. Did the other premium detergent remove these stains? And Ariel? Yes! Ariel, best stain removal in Nigeria in one wash.
Hello, I'm Frank, and this is our Kemu story.
We sold all of our old baby stuff on the internet with Kemu.com.
It took just 5 minutes to get started, and it's free for customers like me.
Buyers come from all around the neighborhood.
We got rid of everything, and with the profits, I can get all the new stuff.
Already ahead of you. I've just been shopping.
Start your business today. It's that easy. Kemu.com.
Think 5 megabytes, enough to post your favorite pictures of Lucky, your beloved Bingo, on the internet. And maybe Lucky could be all the rage. Think 10 megabytes. Wow. Let us upload a video of Lucky. Now, Lucky is a YouTube sensation. Okay. 500 megabytes. Ooh. Lucky selfies, Lucky album downloads, Lucky Instagram photo bombs with flavor. Omaomi. And look, it's the band. 1 gig. Watch Lucky take the red carpet live at his new movie premiere and watch the making of his latest music video featuring Omaomi. You have brought Lucky this far on 1 gig. Just take a couple of seconds to think how far you're gonna get on Glow Internet.
Stay ahead. Upgrade to Glow Mobile Broadband high-speed internet for everyone. Enjoy the new all-purpose data pack. Use it the way you want. 1-day pack for 50 naira and 7-day pack for 200 naira.
Thank you for being there. Companies operating in the country, especially in the oil and gas industry, urged to be listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange as economic expert challenges manufacturers to be competitive. Amechi Pius has details of these stories on our business news segment. Amechi?
It's always a delight to have you join us on this segment of the news. My name is Amechi Pius. Companies in the country, particularly those in the oil and gas as well as the telecommunication subsectors, have been advised to take advantage of the capital market to be listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. The president of the Nigerian Institute of Management, Dr. Nelson Waga, gave this advice when he visited the exchange in Lagos. Such move, he explained, would deepen the market.
For companies in Nigeria, particularly among the 400 listed with us, who are not taking the advantage of trading on the stock exchange, will also be able to encourage them. Nigerian Stock Exchange is doing very well now, and their activities of international standard.
A strategic partnership aimed at enhancing capacity for operators of the market, he explained, is on the way between the Nigerian Institute of Management and the Nigerian Stock Exchange. And despite the various challenges faced by manufacturers in the country, operators have been advised to be competitive by producing goods of acceptable quality. The Director General of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Muda Yusuf, told NTA Business News in an interview that this is one sure way of surviving in the present economic environment.
If they are more competitive, they'll be able to contribute more to job creation. They'll be able to also be more profitable. And there is also a need for government, as a matter of deliberate policy, that is going beyond the rhetorics now, to patronize what is made in Nigeria.
And that's business news. Thanks for being a part of it. The news continues shortly. Good evening.
As the non-availability of petroleum products continues to worsen across the country, in spite of assurances from the NNPC that there is adequate stock, the Department of Petroleum Resources was out on the field to unravel the cause of the persistent fuel scarcity and ascertain the level of compliance. The report.
Following a surveillance report, officers of the Inspection and Monitoring Unit of the Department of Petroleum Resources, DPR, swung into action and visited filling stations to ascertain the level of compliance by oil marketers to the directives by the Petroleum Product Pricing Regulatory Agency. At two of the filling stations visited along Ikate-Elegushi-Lekki-Ekpe Expressway, it was discovered that the oil marketers had more than 45,000 liters of fuel but refused to sell to motorists.
For instance, this particular station now, we found them holding almost 30,000 liters of petrol. What we are going to do is for them to pay those charges for holding. We found some other faults which we will also charge them, and we will now decide after charging them whether to allow them to continue to operate or sanction them for some time before they come up.
In the other filling stations visited, the operators who claimed that they had reached the dead stock were also forced to sell the products.
We should put more effort to make sure the fuel circulates around so that we can walk into the filling station, buy our fuel and walk out, not for us to have a long queue.
I really give kudos to the government because this morning now, this is my second car I've bought.
According to the Assistant Director, DPR, the long queues experienced is as a result of hoarding and diversion of the product by petroleum marketers.
If they continue to violate our regulations, we will not mind to revoke their license, because this type of thing is unwarranted, is something we cannot tolerate.
Public to inform the DPR whenever they notice any irregularity.
Still from Lagos comes a report that motorists and commuters in Lagos have continued to bemoan their fate due to the perennial hectic traffic that has seriously affected movement in the last 9 days following the gridlock along the Apapa-Oshodi Expressway and Ijora axis. Musa Toliat reports that the situation, which has taken its toll on several other roads in Lagos, is yet to be addressed.
Motorist optimism for a prompt resolution to the traffic jam remained elusive as the situation gets worse as the day goes by. The early morning rush hour is often hampered by the gridlock, such that commuters have to resort to trekking long distances to get to their destination. The reason is not far-fetched: inability to get buses, and when they do, the inability of commercial bus drivers to wriggle out of the gridlock.
Through Lere to Costain, I have to trek, no more to.
On Friday.
To where?
I'm going to CMS.
I'm trekking from Oiwe from Oimbo to here, no more to nothing.
All my legs are paining me.
Every morning, look at when I have to close shop before time.
We have been here now for up to 6 hours.
Those who saw the services of BRT as a viable option were also stranded. Utter disregard for traffic rules in a bid to escape the gridlock was virtually the norm. Before midday, the hectic traffic situation had spread to Costain, Ojuelegba, and better part of Funshaw Williams Avenue and Yaba.
I just feel the government should look for a way to resolve all this.
Since Monday, I think the government should have do something about it.
Meanwhile, in a drastic response to the continued blockage of the roads by trucks and fuel tankers, the Lagos State government has issued a 48-hour ultimatum to the tanker and truck drivers to relocate their vehicles from the bridges and roads or face the full wrath of the state's traffic law.
They have specific instruction. Immediately after 48 hours, they will fully enforce. I'm putting the word fully enforce. What they will be doing now is to persuade them out. And when you are persuading, we will explain to them.
In Lagos, Musa Tolian, NTA News.
Calls have been made for the revival of the nation's textile industries to be backed by a strong legislation against illegal importation of textile materials whose yearly sales are valued at over 3 billion naira. Talatu Ezerike reports that this was part of the submission of discussants on NTA's Current Affairs program, Tuesday Live.
With nostalgia, discussants recall the good old days in the 60s to 80s when the nation's textile and garment industries were contributing greatly to the nation's economy and was the #1 provider of employment of over 800,000 workforce. They acknowledged programs by the Jonathan administration in reviving the collapsed industries, particularly the intervention funds of 100 billion naira grant through the Bank of Industry.
Has the government at any point in time tried to make sure that all the required funds that are needed by most of these industries to put their feet back in places, has it ever been disbursed correctly? Has there been any mechanism set by the government to monitor how these funds are being disbursed? That is the #1 question that we need to ask ourselves.
The discussants believe that a lot more has to be done by the incoming government to address the sector's challenges that include misplaced priorities, poor power supply, illegal textile importation.
We, the manufacturers of textile in Nigeria, we are only appealing, begging, soliciting, advocating for only 30% market share is what we had been struggling for. We cannot get even 5% market share. Chinese have taken it over by force, by money, by whatever they can.
The danger of smuggling, which you have never pointed out, is that now everybody talking of decline in oil revenue. It's bad enough that Nigeria depends on imports, but it's sad that these imports are not even legitimate imports. They are smuggled. They are not paying duties. You know, smugglers don't pay duties. So government also loses revenue while you undermine domestic production. But I think
they are hopeful that the textile and garment industries will flourish again and want all loose ends tightened. Talati Izarike, NTA News.
One of Nigeria's leading insurance companies, Leadway Assurance Nigeria Limited, has unveiled a new package which takes care of funeral expenses of customers when they lose their loved ones. The new policy, tagged Family Benefit Plan Plus, was unveiled at the company's corporate office in Lagos. Let's join Musa Toliat for the details.
Described as an initiative capable of repositioning insurance business in Africa, the Leadway Family Benefit Plan is designed to allay fears of funeral worries for holders of the policy.
If somebody dies, all of a sudden, sometimes you don't plan something to happen, it happens. Set you back financially. So this is just to mitigate that.
Officials of Leadway Assurance Company Limited say the need to promote insurance penetration in the country and assure Nigerians that a befitting funeral can be achieved without obtaining loans from a bank necessitated the launch of the policy. Benefits inherent in the innovative policy, as explained by Leadway Assurance officials, include standard benefit of 1 million naira to the policy holder. This amount, the insurance company says, can be stretched to a maximum limit of 20 million naira depending on the desire of the customer.
You can choose anything between 0 naira to 20 million naira as the sum assured. However, if you choose anything above 1 million as a benefit for your parents and parents-in-law, you will be required to take medicals. The reason why we want people to go for medicals is because we want to exclude people that are already sick when this policy is purchased.
Leadway Assurance Family Benefit Plan also offers additional benefits such as 25,000 naira grocery incentives and 20,000 naira family support payable for 6 months when the holder of the policy dies.
With as little as a little contribution on a monthly basis or quarterly basis or an annual basis, you can tend to put this little money aside so you can access that big in terms of that big benefit.
My father-in-law passed on within after 3 days of illness. The claim payment was very serious.
The Leadway Assurance Family Benefit Plan is open to customers not more than 65 years old, and the plan terminates upon the death of the policy holder. In Lagos, Musa Tolian, NTA News.
Let's turn our attention to some agriculture news now. In recent times, demand, supply and importation of rice have become a source of concern for both investors and government. Musa Baba Aliu reports that local rice producers and millers like Olam Agri-Technical Processing Limited have invested heavily in parboiling systems to close the deficit in the country.
Nigeria's rice demand was put at about 5 million metric tons per annum, while the country produces about 3 million metric tons. To close the deficit, therefore, the commodity is being exported to meet national demand. Olam Agro-Technical Farm is among the major rice investors that are playing a significant role in assisting Nigeria to produce more rice for her populace.
Actually, check the quality parameters. The Nigerian rice is more nutritious than rice grown anywhere else. If you look at the farm here, these farms are not those kind of farms which has been farming rice, using pesticide for very long periods of time.
The farm produces about 36,000 metric tons of rice annually. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, while defending allegations on abuses of waiver and quota policy on importation of rice, commended Olam Farm for their initiative.
We started by these varieties called Merica,
varieties, Faro 44 and Faro 52. Those varieties give us today average of what? Holland is here. 5 to 6 metric tons. Yeah, you see, about 5 to 6 metric tons per hectare.
When we talk of Holland, they have an investment that I see. I went there. They have brought money into the country.
The minister said the federal government will continue to provide enabling environment for investors to contribute to the national food production. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Civil servants in Rivers State have staged a protest over non-payment of their 3-month salary, with a call on the state government to divert the funds earmarked for the conduct of the local government elections to pay them. Correspondent Robinson Deratede reports.
The aggrieved workers from virtually all the government ministries in Rivers State bore their minds on what they described as government insensitivity to the plight of workers. They said civil servants are on 3-month salary arrears, no payment of overhead or Christmas bonuses since the inception of the present government, yet so much money is being budgeted for the conduct of the forthcoming local government elections. They also frown at the use of consultants hired from outside the state to perform the functions of civil servants in the state.
You should pay us our salaries, you should pay us our overhead that is outstanding now.
We need government to pay us our arrears, our Christmas bonus, all that things they have promised us.
Pensioners who also joined the protest alleged that they have not been paid for 5 months.
We are asking the Rivers State government to pay all pensioners their entitlement, and we have outstanding payments.
Executives of the state chapters of NLC and TUC were also accused of complicity in the matter. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Deratede, NTA News.
In the next part of News Extra, more than 100 internally displaced persons from Yobe screened in Minna, Niger State. Join us again.
Oga, Oga, here is the option. I want more. I want more. More! How hard can it be to get more? Give me more! What's wrong with these guys? Simple thing, more. Just give it to me.
Don't settle for less when you can get more out of life. Now get 200% more whenever you recharge on Glow. That's right, 200% guaranteed bonus on recharge. To call or text any network anytime. Still want more? How about 15 megabytes free data on recharge? 1 minute free for 3 minutes of calling. Plus additional free airtime of 200 naira to call family and friends.
That's more.
The grass is definitely 200% greener with Glow. Dial star 200 hash to get your 200% bonus now.
Glow Unlimited.
What happened? It was a mosquito. Oh, Daddy, here.
What's happening here?
Mama, mosquitoes.
I sprayed, but the mosquitoes aren't dying.
No longer, because I've bought Motain Power Guard, which kills 100% mosquitoes. Motain Power Guard kills 100% mosquitoes.
So, Afana, don't you do so? Na promo. You step on become millionaire.
You never hear say NAFTA don't bring wetin they call mobile authentication service. We go help us know whether medicine na fake or not before we pay. Now, come see. As I scratch this thing will be like recharge card, so come send the pin to 38353 free of charge. I will call receive text message to confirm. Okay, original. Troy, just like that, we confirm whether medicine now fake or not. Instant. Now when you say no wise up, make you help them that spread the story na the way that. Madam, come and take your money.
Now, National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, they bring on this message.
Welcome back. 147 internally displaced persons of Niger State origin brought to Minna from Gaidam, Yobe State have been moved to their local government areas. NEMA officials in Niger State who screened the returnees discovered that some of them are from Niger and Kogi states as well as the Federal Capital Territory. Suleiman Kodogi reports.
The 147 returnees comprise children, 89 male and 58 female, including breastfeeding mothers. More than 90% of them are from communities in Niger State, including Agwara, Kwatangwara, Mashabu, Shiruru, Kacha, Chanchaga, and Mokwa local government areas of the state, while others have their places of abode in Kogi State and the FCT Abuja. Most of the returnees who spoke in Hausa explained that their major occupation in Niger Republic is fishing and that they were returned to the country as a result of the series of attacks by insurgents in some part of Niger Republic. While at the IPD's camp, Minna, the returnees were taken care of by the pet project of wife of the state governor, Life Rehab Foundation, in collaboration with NEMA and the State Emergency Management Agency.
Already we've had contact with various local governments. They should come and pick their people.
Most of them came with a lot of health challenges. Like we had women that had miscarriage on the way. We had some of them that were very sick.
The returnees have since been taken back to their communities. In Minna, Suleiman Kodogi, NTA News.
The National Governing Board of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, has appealed to organizations across the country not to reject Youth Corps members posted to them, rather engage them in challenging tasks in order to tap from their potentials. Olayinka Ojo reports that a member of the governing board, Dr. Bala Adamu Azare, made the appeal at the NYSC orientation camp in Abuja. The report.
Different institutions, NYSC scheme mobilizes youths for their one-year mandatory national service to their fatherland. With these youths ready to contribute their quota to the development of the nation, one question on their lips is the fear of rejection by employers after their 3 weeks orientation exercise.
We've heard of stories of people that are over the years been rejected. Why do these institutions reject corps members?
This challenge of rejection is applicable to all the 37 NYSC secretariats, with most of the problems allegedly induced by the youth corps members themselves, according to the representative of the National Governing Board of the NYSC, who also made a case for the development of the NYSC FCT permanent site located in Kwali Area Council.
Provision of orientation camp is purely the responsibility of states.
The visit has reminded us that we are not just religious corporates left alone.
They have us in mind, they care for us and they love us.
In Abuja, Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
And for a bit on education, as Nigeria battles with 10.5 million out-of-school children, the issue of enrollment and retention of the children has become very urgent. To this effect, a non-governmental organization in collaboration with the Ministry of Education has launched a Keep in School program in a rural community in Abuja. Franca Uzoma Olwa has the details.
This is the local education authority primary school, Paipe, a remote community in the Federal Capital Territory. The school was established in 2002 with a population of 32 pupils, but today it has increased to 355 pupil population.
What I need, like fencing and lack of teachers, and they see the zeal
that the learners have.
To retain these young ones in school, Explorers Book and Readers Club donated instructional materials to them.
Life is all about making positive impact. So while you live, make sure you learn. And while you learn, practice what you have learned by loving other people. Because one day, the legacy left will speak for you, even when you're not there.
I'll encourage them to continue with this thing, and also to, like they're doing, let them look more into the interior of the FCT, where these children will benefit more from this material they are giving to them.
The pupils also enjoyed the presence of new teachers as staff of Ministry of Education volunteered to teach them. Keeping School program is designed to address the challenges of enrollment and retention of pupils in schools. In Abuja, Franca Uzoma Oloa, NTA News.
We still have a bit to go. Is the Burundian president still in charge or not? Join us for a quick look at that and sports in a moment. I'll be right back.
NTA Television College JOS, the leading institution in television broadcasting training in Nigeria, offers you the opportunity to become a professional broadcaster.
On the news tonight,
available courses: 2 years diploma course in television journalism, television production, and television engineering. The college also offers short courses for a period of 6 to 8 weeks in the following areas: basic television journalism, political reporting, online journalism, basic television production, camera operation techniques, basic television presentation, non-linear editing, animation, videography and photography, professional makeup techniques, research and marketing techniques, advanced lighting energy conservation, advanced web design technology, satellite and DSNG equipment maintenance. Our courses are open to media personnel in public and private television stations, corporate organizations, state and federal parastatals, tertiary institution and interested individuals. We have molded many. Come and join the list of the professionals for a rewarding future. For details, please call 08037216725, 0803-594-1444. Email television.college@yahoo.com. Announcer, Management.
Thank you for being there. Burundian president counters coup attempt claim and search and rescue mission underway at Philadelphia's train crash. These and more on Global Tidbits with Chimdima Ndubuisi.
The Burundian coup attempt has taken a new turn as President Nkurunziza has declared that the coup attempt by an army general has been foiled as he made efforts to return to his country from Tanzania, where he was meeting with East African leaders on the country's crisis. But the army general reportedly ordered security agencies to lock down the airport and borders after he overthrew the government, forcing the president's plane to go back to Tanzania. The president reportedly said the coup coup organizers are being chased by the defense and security agencies. Meanwhile, thousands protesting the president's third-term bid have turned around to celebrate the military move, while other citizens are in hiding. Some leaders have condemned the coup attempt. In another development, rescue workers are still searching through the wreckage of the crashed passenger train in Philadelphia, United States, for more victims who are still unaccounted for. The train, carrying more than 240 people, had derailed, killing at least 6 people and injuring 140 others. That's Global Tidbits. Chimdema Ndubisi, NTA News.
Let's go over the latest sports news now. Awoni scores hat-trick ahead of FIFA Under-20 World Cup in New Zealand as the Tigers open camp for 2 major competitions. Amanzi Marcus has the details.
Nigeria's Flying Eagles began their tour of Germany on a winning note with a 5-2 win over Hoffenheim Under-23 team on Tuesday as they continue their build-up towards the FIFA Under-20 World Cup in New Zealand. Taiwo Awoni scored a second-half hat-trick as the African champions took the lead through Godwin Savio and Chidera Eze in the first half. Hoffenheim's Abuja Alejandro and Azua Ahmed scored the 2 goals for the German 5th-tier outfit. Meanwhile, Nigeria's national women's team, the Tigers, on Wednesday opened camp in Abuja to prepare for qualifying matches to the Congo-Brazzaville All-Africa Games and Afrobasket Championship. 5 foreign-based players are expected to join the 10 players already in camp, as the team hopes to finish top of FIBA Africa Zone 3, which also have perennial rivals Cote d'Ivoire.
We have confidence that those young players are really taking part in this African Club Championship last year, so they have the experience of playing at the continent.
We've always come short, but I believe, this time is different. We all have the same mindset, and I believe once we just step on the court and play as a team, I don't think anybody can stop us. Hostilities began in the 6th Peace and Unity Polo Tournament Tuesday in Abuja, with Dogonyaro Farms of Abuja in green and white defeating their Abuja Bill Oil and Gas opponents 5-2 in a 4-choker opener. Kano Terra EP in red jersey also beat Logia Farms of Kaduna by 4.5 goals to 3.
Players who are not fit to play in this tournament 2 years ago, today are exhibiting such wonderful skills that you'll be surprised how they came up, So I think the level of the game has incredibly increased.
The tournament, which has 14 teams participating, continues until Sunday. With Sports News Update, Amanzi Marcus, NTA News.
On that sporting note, we end this week's edition of News Extra. From the production team and me, Aisha Bello Mustafa, thank you for your company.
Rainbow, a giant in the sun, rich in human and natural resources, a land of cultural diversity for tourists' appreciation. Nigeria occupies 923,766 square kilometers, accommodating over 250 indigenous languages. It is a wonderful environment for leisure and business. Nigeria, land of milk and honey, a paradise for tourists.
Is a total package, a special treat to equip you for the week ahead.
Weekend Deal, 6:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. every Saturday and Sunday. It's all about you.